Right guys, let's have a little conversation, a little chat, because pretty much this video is going to be directed at Codemasters. Hopefully they are watching this video, and I'm going to try and keep it relatively short, but I want to try and explain my point correctly. And pretty much this video is going to be 3 things that need to be fixed for F1 2019. And this isn't gameplay features or anything like that. This is pretty much 3 big bugs that are in F1 2018, which I'm not the only one that has right now. I know there's plenty of people that have these, and if they're in F1 2019, it's going to be a big problem. So let's get into it one by one, and let's talk about them. These glitches do happen across various game modes, mainly career mode, because that's what I play. So trying to get that point out there. Quick race doesn't happen as much, it has to be said. Quick race, it happens to me less frequently. And online, it has happened a couple of times, the times that I have experimented on purpose. So point number 1, there's 3 points, 1 and 2 being the most important, 3 not so much. Point number 1, tyre overheating. Now, for this year's game, tyre temperature management was a new feature for this year. Along with the normal temperatures we had before, we now had the tyre carcass temperatures, and the two together meant that you have to manage your tyres to make sure that they don't overheat, and that turned out to be increased tyre wear. Now, at first, I loved the idea, I was on board with it, and to be fair, it was quite a good addition. In Season 1 of Career Mode, I really enjoyed it, but then something changed. Somewhere around Season 2, something didn't quite click, going towards Season 3. This is about 2-3 weeks after the game release, we're talking here, so there must have been a patch or something, but either way, the point I'm getting to is tyre overheating started to become a big problem for me. Out of nowhere. Season 1 I could manage it beautifully in the Toro Rosso, then Season 2 in the same Toro Rosso car, which was starting to get upgraded a bit, I was starting to struggle with. And then Season 3 I went to Red Bull and it was horrific. All 4 of my tyres are getting hot now, which is so annoying. So yeah, I'm just kind of driving at the moment, I'm just going through the motions. But then I thought to myself, right, I'm going to go to a different car for Season 4 and hopefully it fixes itself. So I went to Mercedes and the problem was still there, just as bad. So pretty much, I just thought it was maybe, you know, a glitch file. Hopefully, you know, a patch would come out and fix it. But, you know, there's been plenty of patches in this year's game, and none of them have addressed it. So I'm guessing it's something else. Now, there was a video uploaded about 2-3 days ago on someone else's YouTube channel who I have permission of his footage to use, which you'll probably see on the screen in a moment's time. Pretty much, he did a video questioning if, on the F1 2018 game, if you have higher FPS, do you have better tyre temperature performance? So he did a test at 60 frames and 120 frames per second on PC. It was a race around Catalonia where infamously the tyres tend to overheat, and the proof was scary. Very scary. If you're running at 60 frames on F1 2018, after 5-6 laps, you're going to be 4 to 5 degrees Celsius down on tyre temperature. It's pretty bad, and it was very eye-opening for me, very worrying, because I've always wondered why this was a thing, because I often do career mode in sync, or I did up until a point with Aarava. We're good friends, we get on, we do talk a lot over DMs. And there was a time around Season 2 or Season 3 I said to him, okay, I'm watching your videos, how come you're not struggling with your tyres through X, Y, and Z tracks, yet I can't seem to get them underneath 107, 108 degrees Celsius, they're getting red hot, and I can't do nothing about it. My driving style is very good, I'm a very smooth driver, I don't run extreme setups. I run normally a default setup with some minor changes, and normally if you're running a default setup, it should be drivable. You know, all these things, I was like, I'm a good driver, I run a pretty default setup. How come this is happening? Because it's not my driving style. I'm not sliding the car anywhere, I'm not spinning the rears, I'm not locking up. How is it happening? And now, since this video has come out, it's making sense to me. There's 2 key factors here at play. PC performance, the ability to pull higher frame rates, and also the monitor and the hertz, which is the refresh rate. The 2 of them together make for a pretty lethal combination when it comes to F1 2018. So, I'm going to give 2 different examples and 2 reasons why these 2 things are factors. Example 1, With Aarava, I'm not sure what his monitors are, but I'm pretty sure they're not 144 Hz. I think they're 60 Hz monitors. Now, I also have a 60 Hz monitor, but I only realized this a very short while ago because my monitor by default runs at 50 Hz. So, in theory, that's even worse. Obviously, the performance will be a lot worse. And it made sense because at the time, back when the game first launched, I ran at 50 Hz. I only realized about a month ago that I could change my Hertz setting via the NVIDIA control panel. If no one tells you this, then you won't really know. Could be a basic error, but then again, not everyone is a PC guru, and I'm talking about the general audience here. It made sense at the time because in this particular situation, Aarava has twice the PC that I do, for a start, and he has a monitor which is, at the time, 60 Hz, 10 more Hz than mine. The two of them put together, and he didn't have any high temperature issues, yet I could not stop getting them. Example 2, about 2 days ago, I saw the video of the high temperature glitch, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go test it. So I did some practice for a league race. I did some practice with 3 people, 2 of them esports drivers, and another one being someone part of my Veloce esports team. And we did a bit of racing at Suzuka, which is a very testing track for tyre temperatures. Now, this was genuine practice for a league race, but I kind of, by chance, found this. So we all ran pretty much the same setup. We was testing different setups out, and we did about 4 or 5 different races. We did the whole quali session, and then we did the first stint of the race. I think we did it 4 times in total, each time running a different setup. Every single time, I do qualify, and then we go into the race, and in the race, around lap 4, if not earlier, I would spin out because of tyre overheating. My tyres would be on 103, 104, 105, and I would just spin out around Suzuka. Meanwhile, the other 3, they could keep on going, and they would get to the end of the stint, lap 8, more or less, on super softs around Suzuka, come in and do their strategy onto the mediums. Again, another sign that something wasn't right. Now, these guys have similar PCs to me, a little bit better, maybe about the same, give or take, but the difference is, I think all 3 of these guys have 144 Hz monitors, and that made a difference for them. The PC is slightly better than mine, but there's a bit of a different example to the Aarava one, so I'm giving kind of 2 different options here. And in this case, they have the 144 Hz monitor, and that is something that's helped them out, and that is where the difference comes from. So essentially what I'm trying to say is, tyre overheating on this game will happen worse for those who have worse PC systems. And if you have a crappy monitor and an average computer, then you're going to be in big trouble. When I say an average computer, I've got an NVIDIA 1060 graphics card in my computer. So it's a little bit concerning. And this cannot be a thing in F1 2019. I've troubleshooted what it is. These are the 2 root causes of it. So what I would recommend, co-masters, is to benchmark and test this on lower end PCs. Because I understand when it comes to testing games, you've probably got a pretty decent PC to run it on. So I would recommend bench testing it on lower end PCs, because something is not right. And I'm not the only person that this has happened to. And like I said, the video that I've mentioned, that I've got a link in the description down below to, is proof that inferior performance gives you worse tyre temperatures, therefore giving you worse tyre wear. Point 2, and this is the other big one, time simulation is broken in every single form in career mode. It happens also in quick race, but career mode is what I play the most, so I'm going to say career mode. There's 4 instances this happens. We're going to run through them one by one. Example number 1, accelerate time on the monitor, whether it be practice or qualifying. You go accelerate time, you go 5, 10, 30%, whatever you do. If you go onto the lap time board, the AI set unmatchable lap times that you cannot touch. I am a consistent, clean, smooth and fast racer, and it's impossible. You could run the most aggressive setup and it won't happen. Example 2, when you go to track sitting in the garage, you look at the monitor and you want to, instead of drive out manually and do an installation lap, you decide to go to the track via clicking the flying lap option. In the time that it takes from you pressing X or enter or accept on flying lap, it cuts to a black screen and it goes to the track. In that period, which is a real time of more or less a minute and a half in-game qualifying time or practice time, in that 90 seconds, some cars have set ridiculous lap times. Like I'm talking, a Sauber is first when it should be towards the bottom, or a Williams is like fifth. It doesn't make any sense. The same thing happens, point 3, when you do the same thing the other way around. So you've done your qualifying lap and you don't want to drive all the way back around to the pit lane. So you go pause and you click on return to garage. When you click return to garage, again, you fade to a black screen and then you reappear in the garage. In that time of 90 seconds in real game time, you have lost positions. The AI have set ridiculous lap times. Point 4, and the final one, which is one I'm going to have footage, actual proof of, because it's one that I distinctly remember being it got me really angry at the time. It was a race at China. It was a wet qualifying intermediates. The track was drying, I will admit, but it wasn't drying that extremely. I don't even think that setting exists on the F1 game. So basically, we was in qualifying. Towards the end of the session, me and Leclerc were battling it out for first place. Can we find any more time and try and overtake and knock off Leclerc for top spots? We've run it up to the line. We are fast and we are going to do it. We go P1 momentarily, but then we drop down all the way to P14. Are you mental? Like, what the hell happened there? Literally, that in a 10-second clip is the time, the AI glitch, lap time glitch. You guys ask me, why don't I do a full qualifying? That is the reason why. I mean, look at that. 2.2 off the pace. Where the hell has that happened? I managed to hook up a perfect lap. I crossed the line, and you can see the purple in the top right. You'll see the footage on screen as I'm talking about it. I'll probably slow-mo it. And you can see for a split second on the steering wheel, and also in the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see I go P1. And then, bang, P14, over 2 seconds off the pace. Bear in mind, the flag had already dropped on that lap, so there's only limited time and limited drivers that can complete a lap in that time. It's not the whole grid. It's broken. There's no way. I was in the whole session, I was doing laps because it was a wet session. And it's impossible to find over 2 seconds in one lap. It doesn't happen. The track was not at that stage. It was just a very clear-cut, perfect example of what I'm talking about. And the kind of lap time improvement, that kind of margin, is what the AI find when it comes to this glitch, whether it be any of the 4 methods that I've mentioned. And the lap time is ridiculous. Now, what happens is, it goes hand in hand with the previous issue. The AI set ridiculous lap times, so you find yourself qualifying really low down on the grid. So you go aggressive in the race, and the two problems meet in the middle, and you end up ruining your tires. You go slow, strategies out the window, and you have a poor weekend and a poor race. So pretty much these two things are critical. They have to be fixed for F1 2019, and I'm not the only person. I know multiple people that have had this, and I would say anyone that's watching this video, not Codemaster, I'm talking about people that watch this, please sound off in the comments below. I need to know the exact amount of people. Like, the more you comment, the better, and also upvote each other's comments, because it gives an idea of how many people have actually had this problem, in my opinion. So please, in the comments down below, I need the interaction. So you guys get in the comments, let me know if any of what I've mentioned has happened to you, because I'm going to be reading the comments after this, and I'll be intrigued to see what you guys have to say. Point 3, and my final point, is not so important. It's a bit of a niggling point, and it has been for a lot of F1 games, but the previous 2 issues are so bad that I've kind of put this to the side. Now, when it comes to development in career mode, from Season 1 to Season 10, and maxing out potentially an entire car, the way the AI upgrade compared to you makes no sense. The AI will be mainly, this is the main thing, when the way they're coded in a way where they are stupidly fast on straights every single time at every single track, regardless of the setup that you run. Even against your own teammate, you're a sitting duck. And this is accentuated and made worse because when you mid-season switch, it kind of spills the beans a bit, and you can kind of see for yourself. Drivers in career mode that obviously are not yourself, just AI drivers, they run their engines into the ground. They drive their engines until they either blow up or they're on 85, 90% red hot wear and they change it out. And you can tell because when a driver has had the same engine in since the start of the season and he's at Austria or Canada round 7 or 8, and you know for a fact he's still running that first engine and it's on like 80%, and you've just put a new engine in and it's brand spanking new and they still go past you on the straight, it's not right. The AI should have way more engine wear like you do, because as a player you can notice the second your engine goes above like 20-25%, you can feel that loss of power. That's just, you can feel it. It's not the same, and the AI don't have that. Also, going back to the whole pace balancing problem, they're so fast on the straight, but they don't improve through corners, and they're bang average through corners. And then also they're very strong in traction as well. So you combine the traction with the ridiculous straight line speed and then being slow through corners, and yeah, you get a consistent balance, but it creates for a very weird way of racing. And this is what triggers these AI trains, which we get all the time, which can be very annoying at times because the AI always follow no matter what happens. And at some tracks it can become annoying, like Monaco. Stupid accidents happen, lots of end plates get lost, and generally it needs to be refined a bit because in my opinion there's something missing that just doesn't work for me. And it's mainly this: they are so fast on the straights. You could run 1-1 wings, they're going to be fast. It does not make a difference. And then they're so powerful on traction as well. So yeah, I need to see the AI basically suffer more with tyre wear and suffer more with engine wear like the player does, because it makes sense. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully I'll explain myself. I try to be very slow. I'll have a couple of visual examples, but I try to be very slow, concise, brief in my points. And yeah, I need to know in the comments down below all of your thoughts and opinions, so please let me know down below in the comments box. And yeah, pretty much if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content. Turn notifications so I don't miss a single upload from me, and hopefully a milestone career mode coming sometime soon later on this week. But yeah, other than that, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them, and thank you for watching guys, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.